you, Ambassador Eikenberry, for speaking to us today and for being part of our Stanford community. I am now delighted to introduce our first student speaker, Daniel Khalessi. As an IR major, Daniel studied international security. He assisted Professor Scott Sagan with a project about nuclear deterrence and proliferation, and then wrote an honors thesis entitled The Ambiguity of Nuclear Commitments. Daniel's thesis won the Firestone Medal, one of the highest awards for undergraduate research at Stanford. Daniel also received the Chapel-Luggi Scholarship, the Stanford Award of Excellence, and a certificate in Iranian Studies. He interned for Ambassador Susan Rice at the United Nations in New York and for Middle East North Africa office at the U.S. Treasury in Washington, D.C. Next fall, he will pursue a master's degree in international security at Yale University. Please join me in welcoming to the stage Daniel Khalessi.
Thank you. Professor Toms, Secretary Rice, Ambassador Eikenberry, parents, students. On June 16, 1913, exactly 100 years ago, Kaiser Wilhelm II celebrated the 25th anniversary of his ascension to the Prussian throne. And he said, 25 years of peace. I hope there will be 25 more. Wishful thinking. 25 years passed, and by 1938, humanity had already suffered one world war and was on the cusp of a second. A quarter century later saw this failure compounded with the brinksmanship of the Cuban Missile Crisis and the United States in the throes of the Civil Rights Movement. By 1988, mankind had engaged in a massive arms race and countless wars and conflicts. Thus, on June 16, 2013, 84 international relations students graduate Stanford University at the close of 100 years of violence, not peace. Wilhelm's challenge, therefore, stands unfulfilled. In our short lifetimes, we have witnessed this tragedy of the human condition. We are a class tempered by the memory of the genocides in the Balkans, Rwanda, and Darfur, the image of the collapse of the Twin Towers, and our coming of age during a decade of 2 wars in Iraq and Afghanistan. As we graduate today, we remain cognizant of these tragic events. The diplomat Abba Eban once said, "Tragedy is the difference between what is and what might have been." We cannot rewrite the tragedies of the past, but we can use the knowledge we acquired at Stanford to bend the arc of history toward peace. There is no question that we can lead our generation in building a more peaceful world. We graduate as global citizens, prepared to confront the challenges to eradicating injustice, violence, and oppression. In this class alone, we will produce luminaries of law, titans of industry, pioneers of academia, heads of state, and ambassadors of peace. However, we must always remember that our success in resolving the challenges confronting humanity has never been a question of ability or capacity, but rather unwavering will and resolved determination. In 1903, Jane Stanford declared to the Stanford Board of Trustees that it was her resolve to establish and maintain at such university an educational system which will, if followed, fit the graduate for some useful pursuit, and to this end, to cause the pupils to declare the particular calling which in life they may desire to pursue. We are here today because more than a century ago, Jane Stanford willed this to be so. In our 4 years at Stanford, each of us has tried to follow her example in our own way. As international relations majors, we have taken Jane Stanford's charge beyond the confines of the university. We have studied the workings of the global economic system, the dynamics of international security, and the importance of democratic institutions under world-class faculty. But this engagement of the world has not been merely a passive educational exercise. We ventured from Beijing to Moscow, Sydney to Madrid, and Berlin to Cape Town. We have gone out and met the world. But we are not alone in this endeavor. Our parents, grandparents, siblings, relatives, friends, and the international relations, faculty, and administration have supported us at each and every step. We remain eternally grateful for their unwavering mentorship, support, and encouragement as we pursued our passions here at Stanford. Together, all of us can celebrate the accomplishments of this graduating class. But despite this strong foundation, great challenges remain. We must ask ourselves what world we live in when divided brothers and sisters in North and South Korea, India and Pakistan, and Israel and Palestine are still not truly at peace with one another. We must ask ourselves what world we live in when the genocide in Darfur, which began 10 years ago, continues to this day. And we must ask ourselves what world we live in when leaders the world over fail to discontinue these forms of human oppression and build the peace. Let us put the profound knowledge we have acquired at this institution to a truly noble cause and bring peace to this planet. After all, ladies and gentlemen, for the foreseeable future, this is all we have. Let us resolve that on June 16, 2113, as we look down from heaven, unless some of us are still around, we can proudly remember that we chose not to walk the path which led to war. Let us truly believe that to ensure peace, war is never the right answer. Today, let us ask ourselves that if we do not rise to the challenge, who will? Thank you.